بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى عليه وصحبه أجمعين. Welcome to episode 49 of the series, The Authentic Statements of the Companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In this episode, we'll take the statement of Auf bin Malik al-Ashjai radiyallahu anhu. This companion said, we were with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he said, why don't you give the pledge to Rasulullah, to the Messenger of Allah, referring to himself sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He repeated it 3 times. So those companions, a small group of companions who were there, put their hand forth and to give him the pledge, and they said, Ya Rasulullah, we've already given you the pledge. What should we give you the pledge upon this time? So he said, the Prophet ﷺ said, that you worship Allah and don't associate him partners with him, and the 5 daily prayers. And then Auf is saying, the narrator of this hadith, the companion who narrated this hadith, he said, وَأسر كلمة خفية. And the Prophet ﷺ said a statement that in lower voice. In other words, to indicate that this was a private, a more specialized matter, a more individualized matter. He said, and لا تسأل الناس شيئا. Don't ask anything from anyone. Don't ask the people for anything. Don't ask the people for anything. Don't ask other people for things to do things for you. And this isn't a commandment for all of the people, because not everyone's able to leave off asking everyone of anything. But rather this is the higher level, which is not to ask anyone for anything. Don't ask the creation of Allah, but rather ask the Creator. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The narrator of this hadith said, I used to see some of those people, some of those companions who were in that group when the Prophet ﷺ gave them that advice. Their whip, when they're riding their animal, their camel, their horse, when they're riding their horse, the whip would fall, they drop it, if it falls from them by accident, they wouldn't ask anyone to give it to them. And we all know how difficult it is to get off, to unmount or demount the riding animal. And if someone's riding a camel, to make the camel sit down, how difficult it is to make the camel sit down, get off, pick up their whip, and then get back on to the camel. Yet, despite the difficulty, they'd go through that difficulty to pick up what they had dropped, the whip that they had dropped from the floor, rather than ask someone while they're still on their riding animal, ask someone to pick it up for them and give it to them. But they went to this extent in order to avoid asking people for favors. Even something as simple as, oh, can you pick that up for me? They avoided that, even if it meant they had to go through some difficulty to avoid that, yet they stuck to that advice from the Prophet ﷺ in even the smallest of things. Even the smallest of things, they didn't ask people to do it for them. Rather, they were independent and relied on Allah alone. Barakallahu feekum, jazakumullah khairan, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.